It's the Franklin Show, live from Franklin with America's favorite adopted pup, Franklin Delano Roosevelt Lloyd Wright Sinatra Seltzer. There you go. Friend and a favorite dog adopter, Michael Seltzer. I'm your announcer, the longest continuous national Sirius XM morning show host, Phlash Phelps. And now, here's Franklin. P-H-R-L-I-N-K-L-I-N.
Oh, well, thank you, everybody. Thanks to my great announcer and my band. Thanks to this magnificent audience, all of you folks that are here tonight, once again, so honored and humbled by your adoration of Franklin and I. We have an exciting and fabulous show to present to you tonight. I can't wait to get this thing rolling with our great guests, so you stay tuned and we'll be right back.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
All right, folks, I am so delighted to be here because only in America can a guy like me, who has an award-winning talk show with my puppy, be sitting here with a guy that is a legend, and that is Sandy Deanne, the original founding member of the great Jay and the Americans. Sandy, welcome to the Franklin Show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
That song, Only in America, was originally written for the Drifters. And of course...
Yeah, and written is a totally different lyric, too.
Yeah, was it? Okay. So for whatever reason, you guys got it and made it a huge hit. And I'm sure the Drifters think to themselves, well, that would have been a good song for us, too.
Well, listen, they did a fabulous job. They actually recorded the song. Lieber and Stoller, who were influential in writing it with the other people.
Yeah.
The original lyric was kind of, it had a line in it about the back of the bus, because, civil rights hadn't happened yet. And they submitted the session to Atlantic Records for Drifters single. And the head of the company said, we refuse to accept this and release this record.
Yeah.
Nowhere in America could a black guy be president. It's a lie.
Yeah.
So they rejected they thought it was a terrible idea, and it didn't represent the company, which was Atlantic, which was basically a black label, and the Drifters. And they were right, actually, if you think about it. So Jerry and Mike kind of rewrote the lyric, made it more of a clean-cut American patriotic kind of song. And they said, we were crushed because we heard the Drifters version. And we said, why didn't you give that song to us? What could be a better match than Jay and the Americans?
Sure.
We in America, we had no idea of the racial influence and the backstory at all.
Right.
Heard was a song and a title. And we worshiped the Drifters, so anything they did, we wanted to do anyway.
Oh, God, they're a great, great band. Under the Boardwalk and on Broadway, and just fabulous artists.
Yeah.
So
they were kind of our idols. We loved them.
Yeah.
And being in the same office that they were signed to was a privilege for us,
Of course. All right, so let's start at the beginning, Sandy. You are the last remaining original member of Jay and the Americans. There have been a number of...
Sanders is still active.
Oh.
I mean, he had a health issue, so he's rehabbing physically, but he'll be back within a month and a half.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
forever.
But kudos to you. You're still out there performing, and the band is on a tour right now. So thank you for taking the time. I know Jay was trying to get on with us. He's in a hotel room. He wasn't able to get on with us, but that's okay. It's, there have been a few Jays. This is the newest Jay. He's only been with you for what, 20 years?
Years, yeah.
So he's one of the new kids,
I think he earned his wings.
Yeah. And so tell me about the beginning, Sandy. Tell me about the origin of Jay and the Americans.
Well, Jay and the Americans was formed by two separate groups that were managed by a guy named Jim Gribble, who was a manager in Manhattan that managed the Mystics and the Passions and the Mellow Kings. I mean, he managed half of the rock and roll doo-wop groups that came out of New York. He was a big-time manager. We had a little group called the Harbor Lights. It was a trio. It was my high school girlfriend, Sidel, who was a singer.
Hmm.
E. Rosenberg and I were the backup singers. And we both have high voices. So we sounded like the girls' trio. You know, we sounded more like the Andrews sisters than we sounded like a guys' group. He had the lowest voice in the group. It was just funny. And I sang harmonies above her. She played piano, and I played a little guitar, and we sang our behinds off. Got a record deal. And like I said, we were signed, but it became a pain in the neck. In those days, the girls' thing wasn't happening.
Yeah.
There were no major girl lead singers yet. Sidel sounded very reminiscent to Cyndi Lauper.
Hmm.
Got tired of going to shows and having to hang a curtain, and she needed an hour to put her makeup on. It was typical teenage angst. We were annoyed with the girl thing.
Yeah.
So we were dying to have a boys group because that's really what was going on.
Right.
So the Mystics, their lead singer, the guy that sang Hushabye, he had to disappear for a while, and they had to replace him. They replaced him with a guy by the name of Jay Trainer, and he started being the new lead singer for the Mystics. But he wasn't received by the group very well because he was not the original guy. They were all really close friends from the neighborhood. Jay was an outsider, and they treated him like an outsider, even though he's a fabulous singer. And we sensed when we would get together in the office that he was miserable and that he really didn't want to be there, even though he was performing with a hit group. And Kenny and I loved his voice. And we said, hey, how would you like to join up, make a guys group, you, me, and Kenny, and we'll make a boys group? And he went, yeah, which was kind of funny because we were nobody, but he liked our sound and he wanted to escape his situation.
Yeah.
So we formed a guys group, and I called the guy named, my best friend was Howie Kirschenbaum from Brooklyn. He came right out and joined the group. And Marty, who was our guitar player, he was there from day one too, but he was playing guitar for everybody. Marty was playing guitar for the Coasters. He was playing guitar for a group called the Empires, who the lead singer of that group was actually David Blatt, who became Jay Black. So two small-time groups
Yeah.
later on merged and became Jay and the Americans. Because when Trainer quit the group, Marty said, well, I got a guy that can really sing good. And he came when we heard him sing, and that's what happened. That's how it happened.
Wow. Wow. Decades and decades go by and the hits keep coming, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you guys have a soundtrack of our lives, right? And it's just
Well, we were very fortunate in the fact that we were with great people. I mean, our first producers, Lieber and Stoller,
God.
I mean, they had so many hits, we were a blip on their
Yes.
radar.
Right.
You know, they had the Drifters, the Coasters, Benny King, Clyde McPhatter, the Exciters. They had Ruby Baby with Dion. They had, I mean, it's endless. Hound Dog with Elvis. They had a rap sheet a mile long of gold records.
And a rap sheet in the good way, because a
Yeah,
rap sheet is not always a good thing to have.
I know, but they had an office, a suite of offices, and
Yeah.
every wall was covered with a gold or platinum record, floor to ceiling, wall to wall. It was really intimidating to walk into that place.
Right. And you know, when you see the audiences today, now you're on this Happy Together tour, and
Yeah,
you're
right.
playing with the Turtles. Who
Yeah.
else? Who else is in the lineup?
All right, so it opens up with the Cowsills, which is real fun. They're really a fun, great act.
Yeah.
And they sing their rear ends off. They're terrific.
Yeah.
And they're lively and they're entertaining and they're a trip. They're all by themselves.
Right.
Susan is truly the flower girl, you know. And then it goes from them to the Vogues, who have
5
a ton of
o'clock
hits.
world. 5 o'clock
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. And Special Angel. And I mean, they say a lot of hits.
Yeah.
They're really good, excellent harmonizers. And then from there, goes to a guy you may not have heard of, but his name is Gary Puckett.
Oh, yeah. The Union.
Yeah, you might have heard of him.
Yeah.
And then he does his thing, and then he's followed by a guy that I've been friends with for 63 years. We started together at the Brooklyn Fox Theater doing shows for Murray the K. His name is Little Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
And he comes out.
I think he's going out of his head.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what happens.
Yeah.
We all go out, and the places are always packed. And we all go out, and we really work on getting the audience revved up. And it takes 3 or 4 minutes to get the audience crazy. Anthony walks out, and he says 4 words. And the audience goes nuts.
What are the
He
4
walks
words?
out, and he says, "You don't remember me.
Don't remember me, but I remember you."
And the place explodes like a bomb went off. So we said to him, "How come we have to work so hard and you only have to say 4 words and you can leave?" And he cracked up. He thought that was funny. But it's the truth. It's
Yeah.
the most marvelous show.
Yeah.
Then we come out, follow Anthony. We do our little stint. And then the turtle music comes on.
Yeah.
And the show ends with Happy Together. And
Yeah.
the best part of it is everybody is really family. We're really fun with each other. We
Right.
travel together. We're on buses and cars. We're in hotels. We eat together. And there's a real sense of joy. It really is a true Happy Together tour.
Well, and you bring so much joy. I go to a lot of the nostalgia shows.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, man, when you see Bill Medley still able to belt it out
Hell yeah.
with Bucky, when you see the association up there doing Windy and they sound, Along Came Mary, and of course, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, God bless them all, man. They bring back nothing but great nostalgic memories to most of us.
Well,
And even the new
the real story is the guys that I'm mentioning.
Yeah.
This music isn't fly-by-night music. This is the new American songbook.
Yeah.
These songs that we're singing, and Bill Medley, who happens to be might be the nicest guy in show business,
Where?
fabulous guy.
Yeah.
And you hear that low resonance,
Oh, yeah.
his voice. I mean, you can't help but get nuts. It just whoa, that's Bill Medley.
Right.
I mean, this stuff is so classical. It's like when Jay sings Caramia, the place explodes.
God.
When Anthony sings his stuff, when
Yeah.
Gary does Young Girl, I mean,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. And
how many shows are you guys doing in this tour right now?
tour is 60 shows in 90 days.
60 shows in 90 days.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We need iron lungs on this tour.
You wake up and you don't even know what city you're in, right? You have
Wondering
to
why Jay can't connect on his Wi-Fi.
That's right. I get it. I understand. It happens. That's show business.
Yeah.
But the show must go on.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you guys are still out there performing. I love the fact that so many of these artists who were so huge in the 60s and even before and slightly after are still able to command these kinds of performances, and the people love them. I saw Herman's Hermits recently, Peter Noon,
Great.
Tommy James and the Shondells. Tommy James is a showman. I mean, when the band is on stage doing Moni Moni, and he's out working the audience, walking through the entire theater and taking selfies and signing autographs for 15, 20 minutes. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so delighted. So tell me more about the years between the beginning of Jay and the Americans and where we are today. How many personnel changes? How many different Jays have there been?
Well, there's only been 3 J's,
Oh, okay, that's good.
and it's only been up until this year. There were 4 original Americans.
Mhm.
There was Jay Trainer.
Yeah,
The original group was Jay Trainer, myself, Kenny Vance, Kenny Rosenberg,
the
um,
Jew
Howie
crew
Kane, Howie Kirschenbaum.
and the Jew crew. I love
Yeah,
it.
the Jew crew, Howie Kane, and Marty Coopersmith, Marty Sanders.
Yeah,
So there were 5 of us.
yeah,
Jay thought he could go out on his own and quit the group,
yeah.
and we said, "Okay, you're more than welcome to go out on your own, but you can't be Jay and the Americans. We own the name.
Right.
You're Jay Trainer, and that's all who you are."
Yeah,
And he paid that price.
yeah.
I found David Black 2 days later because he was singing with Marty in another group.
Hmm.
And Marty said, "Hey, I got a guy." Howie said, "Marty, what about that guy you sing with?" And he came to the house and he auditioned.
Hmm.
And his audition song that he sang was a song he sang with Marty in the other group called Caramia.
And that's a killer song, man. I love that.
Yep. We heard him sing that and we said, "You're not Dave anymore. You're Jay."
Yeah, right.
So that was the second Jay. And then we ran off like 8 hits with him. And we had 19 top 10 records in 10 years. Now, it wasn't all smooth sailing because after She Cried, which was a monster, we released 2 singles with Jay Trainer and they bombed. And
Hmm.
that's really why he wanted to go on his own.
Hmm.
I think he regretted that. Fortunately, at the end, he got together with another friend of ours, Jay Siegel, and
Hmm.
sang with the Tokens for about 8 years before he passed. And then the Jay Black, who was supposed to be a solo, he would occasionally call himself Jay and the Americans. He'd have like 3 or 4 phony background guys that
Yeah,
he called the Americans, but they
yeah.
were just hired hands.
Mhm.
And most of the time, he tried to establish Jay Black and eventually did as a solo artist.
Yeah,
Had to go bankrupt because he never paid taxes. He was a big gambler,
right.
got into the government for big money. So he's forced to go bankrupt for the third time. And this time the government got annoyed with him because he was very cocky in the procedure. And you can't get anything from me. I'm broke and I don't have anything that's worthwhile that you could get money from. And nobody could sing those songs from but me anyway. And that annoyed the guy who was running the government bankruptcy. And he said, "Well, you got the name Jay and the Americans. Let's see what that's worth." And they decided they were going to auction it. And when I heard that, I got frightened because I said, "Oh, here we go. Some guy's going to buy the name and put 4 young 20-year-old guys in tuxedos together." But like they did with the Drifters and the Coasters, like 9 Platters groups, 6 Coasters groups,
Oh yeah,
5 Drifters. I said, "I'm not going to let that happen."
yeah.
So my son and I decided we were going to put it in a bid and buy the name
Right,
just to protect it, not to do anything with it. I mean, I was,
right.
on to other things. Had a hit Broadway show called Beatlemania. I was the head of A&R at ABC Dunhill Records.
Wow.
Brought Steely Dan to Dunhill for Gary Katz to produce. I mean, I had a lot of credit, so I was doing well in the music business without
Yeah,
being Jay and the Americans.
right,
But I didn't want to see it go down that path and be fraudulent for the public the way
right.
other bands had been.
Yeah.
And it was really weird because a guy from Chicago put in a bid of $100,000.
Huh.
I said, "Well, what the hell is he doing with it?" And it turns out that there's a law being passed at that time called the Truth in Music Law. It was being passed state by state, where if you're not an original member of a band, you can't use the name because it's defrauding the public.
That's absolutely the way it should be, for sure.
So it had to be either an original member
Yeah.
or their estate that owned the name
Right.
gave permission for people. But at least there was some legitimacy to the use of the name.
Yeah.
So evidently, the first state to pass that law was Illinois,
Hmm.
and this guy was from Chicago that put in the bid.
that
So
kind of killed that deal.
that kind of messed him up. But
Yeah.
it turned out that he was the guy who had the big local band in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they sang 6J and the American songs in their show.
Oh.
And the DJs in town all knew him and said, "Hey, man, you should buy that name because you sing Carry Me, you're great."
Mm.
So he put in the bid thinking, it'd be a good thing, but he couldn't do it. So I got his name from the auction.
Yeah.
And out of curiosity, I called it. And I said, "Hey, my name is Sandy Yaguda." And he goes, "Wow, it's an honor to talk to you. I know who you are. You're an original guy. You're the guy." I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's an honor." And I thought he was putting me on. People in New York are not as polite as the people in the Midwest.
You think?
Yeah, no. And he was so contrite and so in awe of me. I said, "Well, why were you putting in the bid?" And he tells me the story.
Yeah.
I say, "Are you any good?" Because I'm saying either this guy is a bad American Idol audition,
Yeah.
or maybe he's decent.
Right.
And he was so polite and charming. I said, "You know what? Are you playing this weekend?" He said, "Yeah, we're playing a bar. We play all the time." I said, "Well, how about if Howie and I come out and see you?" He said, "I'll pick you up at the airport and take you to lunch." I said, "Okay." I called Howie. We stayed in touch. The Americans, even though there was no group, stayed in touch.
Yeah.
And we were childhood friends from the neighborhood. So we always kept in touch. But I said, "Come on, Howie, let's see what's going on with this guy. Who knows? I
Yeah.
doubt if it's anything, but if nothing else, it's a trip to Chicago." So we go to the place. He takes me to lunch. Great sandwich, hero place. And then he takes me to the club. It was a real biker bar with peanut shells on it. It was just a great kind of place to see an act play.
Right.
We go in, and the place is packed. And they come on and they sing their first set. They do 3J and the American songs, and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And they do the break, and then they come back and they do the second set, and he sings Caramia, and the place explodes.
Mm.
Howie and I look at each other, and I say, "He's not bad. He's pretty good. If we work with him, we could probably make him into a real J." And Howie says, "Yeah, I think we could."
Hmm.
So at the end of the show, I go over to him. I say, "Listen," I said, "I know your wife is here because she keeps turning around and staring at us." You know, I said, "So that must be your wife at that table with the other girls from the band." I said, I got to tell you, if we offer you a shot at being the new Jay, I really got to talk to her first. Because if you're going to do this, it wouldn't mean anything if she's not on board. Because this is something you can't do without your wife being behind you.
Happy life, happy wife, or happy wife, happy
Got to
life.
leave town.
Yeah.
He was a local guy playing in the local shows. He didn't travel much, so it didn't mess with his marriage. When you're in a group like us, you're traveling.
Yeah.
Mess with a marriage. So I walked over to Lonnie and I said, "Listen, if I offer your husband the opportunity to be the third J, are you on board with this? Are you ready for him to be out of town half the time?" And she said, "He's been waiting his whole life to play in the major leagues.
Mm.
I'm thrilled for him to do this." So I said, "Okay, you got it."
Yeah.
Jay, you have to come to New York, fly back and forth for the next 6 months. We're going to rehearse your ass off
Yeah.
until we think we're ready. Because if we don't think it's good enough, we're not doing it.
Yep.
I'm not going to ruin what we've already built. The legacy that we have is too important to mess up. And he agreed. He felt the same way. And he flew in every 2 weeks for a week for about 4 months.
Mm.
So we said, "Okay, we're not going to get any better in the rehearsal hall.
Yeah.
Go out and do a show." We went and did a show, and it was fair. I mean, I hated it, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I thought it sucked, but the audience liked it, but it was terrible. But every show we did after that kept getting better,
Yeah.
better. And after about 10 or 12 shows, we were swinging again, and we started to sound like the old group. And after 6 months, we sounded as good as we ever sounded.
That's a great story, Sandy. I mean, you gave a guy a break. The whole thing it's a full circle kind of perfect story.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw it all through his eyes, because we had been there. We played Madison Square Garden. We
Yeah.
played the Hollywood Bowl. We played all of these places as a major act. And we're watching him
Yeah.
starting to play big rooms with other national acts who are looking at him like, who the hell is this guy?
Right.
We started to sing.
Yeah.
And they started listening and accepting him. And it was great to see the transformation from the local guy to a really national vocalist,
And are he and his wife still together?
Oh, yeah. Bonnie is a dear friend.
Okay.
Now.
Because,
Yeah.
in Hollywood, there are a lot of stories of marriages that just don't work out.
No. They're tight.
Yeah.
No, we're tight. We're very tight. My wife and his wife are like perfect for us.
That's great.
Putting up with us is a job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, I am so appreciative. And as my wife says, I have this ability to connect with people that I don't know. And all I did recently was I saw the Happy Together tour, and I started thinking about Jay and the Americans and how much I loved your music. I went on Facebook, I found your page, I sent a message. I've got a crazy TV show that's just won a national award. We're doing a national PBS special, and would you consider being a guest and bringing on your stories? And man, you just responded in a minute and said, "Yeah, I'm the founding member of the band, and I would love to do your show." And my wife says, "It's unbelievable how you connect to people like that." And so I'm so pleased that you were responsive. I'm so pleased that we did this. I'm going to bookend you with Phlash Phelps and
Right.
either Shotgun Tom Kelly, who's another
Right.
great friend of ours, and
Yeah.
60's Gold, or Joey Reynolds, another great friend of ours in New York on the radio. And we're going to make this a special hour tribute to the 60's music that we all grew up loving.
Absolutely.
And
everybody thanks us for keeping the music alive.
Absolutely.
And I say, no, the music is keeping us alive.
That's a good analogy. It's true. So many great, iconic artists are still out there performing. I am a big fan of Van Morrison. His 80th is coming up in a couple weeks. I'm going to Belfast for his 80th birthday. I just did an hour and a half tribute to Van Morrison, which I will send you. I think you'll appreciate it.
Tell Van, people say I kind of look like him.
Yeah.
But they say, "Oh, you look like a Van Morrison guy."
Well,
I don't love his music, but I never saw that. But that's a compliment.
it's a compliment. He's still killing it, man. He's 80.
Yeah.
He's performing on his birthday in Belfast, and we will be there. I'll be doing the show live from Belfast, and I'll send you a link. You'll enjoy it.
Funny, I perform on my birthday every year.
Yeah?
Yep.
Perfect. So you use the name Sandy Deanne. That's your stage name?
Oh, yeah. We had to change our names.
Yeah, of course. To protect the innocent.
When we were kids in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And there were no such thing as unlisted numbers.
Right.
We were living at home.
Right.
All the little girls would call at 2 a.m. and scream into the phone. Father said, if I get one more phone call that wakes your mother, I'm going to break your kneecaps. So I said, okay, we better get stage names so they can't look us up so fast.
You can't perform as well with broken kneecaps. So thank God you didn't have that. All right, my friend.
Time.
It was my pleasure having you. We will show some clips. We're going to put up the Happy Together tour schedule so our audience will be able to find out where you're performing. And I hope to meet you at one of those performances. I look forward to it.
Welcome aboard, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sandy, so much for being here on the Franklin Show.
No problem. Take care.
God bless you. Folks, we'll be right back with more fun and riveting entertainment here on The Franklin Show.
Give the Phlash a hug.
I will do that.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama?
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special treat for me and for Franklin. Franklin is right here at my feet. He's a little exhausted. He's had a grueling day of broadcasting excellence. So he's on the floor, and but we are here celebrating 60's gold, and we've just had this wonderful interview with Sandy Deanne and Jay and the Americans, which was spectacular. And I dropped this man's name, and of course he gushed, but we all do. So, ladies and gentlemen, from his home studio in wherever, it is the,
Maryland.
it is the phenomenal Phlash Phelps 60's gold. Welcome to the Franklin Show, my friend. How are you?
I am doing fantastic here. Uh-oh. Live? What, is that Franklin?
Oh,
Franklin?
yeah. Well, I've got my own sound effects too, you know.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got
That's the fun thing. I'm so glad I have that. That's why I have the studio here, so I can change things and make it sound huge.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have all that genius capability. So look,
Oh.
I have admired you for as long as I've known you, and even before I didn't know you, I admired you because
Thanks.
you're iconic. You are the longest airing morning DJ on Sirius XM, right? Am I right about that? Oh, I got my alarm set to remind me to do this interview. Live television. Okay,
Oh, there you go.
you
Yeah,
are
it's
the longest running morning disc jockey on Sirius XM to the days when it was just XM. Am I right?
right. Yeah, and it's so cool because Pat St. John's on the channel as well, and he was the longest from the Sirius side. So when I just came into XM on August 21st of the year 2000, it's just amazing how quick 25 years could go by because everybody said, I remember our friend Art Volo, he was saying, I wonder if you can make it 10 years. I remember the 5. Can you make it 5? That would outdo some of my last radio stations. I went through 17 radio stations in 17 years, 1983 all the way through 2000, 17 stations. I got fired so many times. It's like, I don't know what's going on. So then that was when Art, he made the comment. He said, you interested in Sally Radio? And I said, well, what do you mean Sally Radio? The thing in Denver? And he goes, no, not that. The new thing coming. What new thing coming? Read about Sally Radio. And I read about it and I said, what do I need to do? And Art said, I'm just sending a video of what you've done. He sent a video and I got a message from Dave Logan that said, you're our kind of nut. And we're not hiring. And that's what it said. I still have a copy of that. And I actually, I made a part of this. It says, because it says bottom line, : you're our kind of nut. And that was how it all started. And then they brought me in the summer of 2000. Wasn't even on the air. So I took a chance going, and everybody said to me, they say, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, I guess I'll just go get another job. I've already had 17 of them.
That's the one thing about broadcasting is you're only as good as the length of your resume. I mean,
And I started thinking about that. If somebody asked me today, do you have a resume? They're like, no, I have pinpoints. Because does anybody, number one, care what I did prior to 2000, 25 years ago? Would anybody care on a resume what that even says?
right.
So, and it's like all they are like bullet points. And hopefully I will never need another resume again. But if I do, I have pinpoints because I may forget things I did along the way.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But it's all there for the public to enjoy. And you're on the air every day. And not only that, you're so damn entertaining. I am just in awe of your storytelling, your travel. What do you got? 200,000 miles on your car?
400. It's 405 now.
400,000.
Now, here's the fun thing. I go, because I had to get emissions here in Maryland. So I pull it in and the guy goes, okay, what's the mileage on the car? Now, again, it's a 2018. They can see that. And they go, what's the mileage? I go, you ready? He goes, yeah. I go, it was 404,718. And he goes, what? He's looking at the car. He goes, this is 2018. What do
And
you
is
mean you have
this is this your
400
first oil change? Because that's important.
Yeah, I do. Well, I made sure I got synthetic thanks to Mike Kelly. He said, "Yeah, just go with synthetic and then just do it whenever the thing goes to 0." Well, you know how the thing will count down? It'll go 100%, it'll go
Yeah,
to 0, okay, get it changed. And usually it's about 12,000 to 15,000
right.
miles go by
Yeah,
because that means about 3 months to me
yeah.
is what it is because I'm doing about 60 to 80,000 miles a year. And actually over this last year, I haven't done as much, only 50,000. Because I keep track of it on my calendar. I can
You're
look back to
slowing
see.
down, huh, Flash? Slowing
Yeah,
down.
it'll slow down because after you've gone so many places, you
Right.
say, "Well, now where can I go now?" That's something I haven't seen. Now they get further and further away. So I do a lot of day trips now. So,
Well, I
but
know you've been here to our beautiful town of Franklin, Michigan. I
yes.
have I have pictures of you in my home
Mhm.
with Franklin, so
Yep.
I know you've made it this far. But I mean, seriously, you've been everywhere, and everywhere you go, you've got great stories, and you share those with the listeners every day.
You wanna know what's funny? When Art was trying to get me this job, he just knew it was wacky. He just liked what I had done, and then when they saw it in DC, they said, "This is like the '60s," but I didn't know the music of the '60s. I grew up with '80s and '90s music that was on the air, and
Yeah,
they said, "You can learn the music." So
right.
that was what it was, and then I never thought about telling travel stories on the air, but that's when it started. I said, "Wait, these people are all over the country." I can relate. I remember when they would say, when you go to a market, learn as much about that market, learn about Detroit. I was in Fort Wayne, learn all about Fort Wayne, tell people stories about that area. Well, when your market is the United States and Canada, then it's like, wow, I can actually pinpoint. It's like, I've been there. I can tell you what is there or something fun to see. So that's something I ended up doing was starting to bring in the travel part. That wasn't the original reason I was brought in.
Right. No, it's
Yeah,
your personality was the reason you were brought in, but
thanks.
you integrated the travel, and it's fascinating because people are learning while they're listening and enjoying the music of the '60s. They're learning about places they may never go to in their lives, but it's interesting to hear about the history of these places. I
That's
mean,
what yeah, and you know what? When I was growing up, I didn't even like social studies.
none of us did. I assume you've been to Uranus. Have you been there yet?
I've been there's 3 of them right now, and I've been to all 3. So on I-44 was the very first one that they did, and it's right near Phelps County, my last name county. So if you're right between Rolla and Springfield, you can go to Uranus. They have all these fun things to get photo ops, and then after you do that one, you can go to Anderson, Indiana, and that's not even right on I-69. It's a little inland. It's almost right in town. So you do that one, and now they have the one on the very east side of Richmond. So not Virginia, but Richmond, Indiana. It's right on the Ohio border. So you're right on. You can walk right over it into Ohio.
Flash,
So
I've been
3 of them.
trying to get the Uranus fudge people on
Oh,
my show
oh
because
God, that's
it's
so much fun.
just so funny what they've done with the name of
Mhm.
their business and the double entendres.
Oh, there's a and they yell it as soon as you walk in, and every store is different. If you've been to all 3 of them, every one of them is different. So there's different comedy in each one. And as soon as they opened up they opened up at Christmas time, the one off of I-70 at Richmond, Indiana. And I went in there a couple days after, and I said, "Man, I didn't even know you were open." And they said, "Yeah, we just opened right for Christmas." I said, So I was one of their first people to come in, and they have this time tunnel that you can walk through, but it's all the comedy that's in there. Yeah, you
Oh
always
my!
want to buy something from Uranus.
I'm going to continue because I never say never and I don't accept no for an answer, but I have not been able to get through to the right party to get them on this show. So I'm working on that, and I will continue to work on that.
Oh,
So
they're good.
yeah, yeah. So tell me a little bit about your history now after 25 years on Sirius XM. I mean, it's spectacular,
That
and the audience just loves listening to you.
oh,
And I've been on your show a few times,
yeah.
and when I'm on your show, I hear from dozens of people. Oh, I heard you on with Flash this morning.
That's what really amazes me. As soon as I'll have something, I'll say something, and then somebody will go, "Oh, I've just heard from all these people." As soon as you just had me on the air, so I
Right,
mean that makes you feel really great to know how many people are tuning in. Because when we originally started the '60s, they said number one, you're going to be one of those channels that's the McDonald's or the Walmart of your satellite radio because people know what the '60s is,
right.
and it was the audience at that point that were all in their 50s, and then they grew up with it, and
Right.
then during the time, so now the audience has graduated to the 70s, but I love bringing in the younger ones as well. And just the history of all this time of playing the songs. So the example would be if the year would have been 1960 when I started in the year 2000, we would already be in the year 1985 right now. That's
Great.
weird to think. I've
Yeah.
worked on the 60s long enough to have lived 1960 to 1985. And you
Yeah.
go, how in the world could 25 years have gone by that quick? So it's really strange to look back at. I remember we were celebrating 40 years of the Beatles being on the Ed Sullivan Show
No
back
kidding.
in 2004. And now it's like, wait a minute, why are we into the 60th now? So the
There's an
time has flown
interesting-
by. I don't know what else I would do at this point. I'm still doing the 60s.
Well, it's the soundtrack of our lives. And when we go to some of these gigs, like Jay and the Americans, like the Righteous Brothers, like Frankie Valli, like the Association, you're hearing music that you grew up listening to. And you
Yeah.
can't help but walk away with a smile on your face. I
Yeah.
was talking about Tommy James and
Mhm.
how he puts on the most unbelievable, entertaining show and works the audience while he's playing Moni Moni. They're
Mhm.
actually in there. He's walking around the entire facility, shaking hands with people, taking selfies, signing autographs, and he goes on for 15 minutes working the crowd. It's an amazing thing to see, right?
It's really nice to see how many people are still coming out when you see all
Sure.
these tours going on of the 60s artists and they're performing and they're bringing in an audience and we get to see those. And I love seeing when people take pictures of the crowd with the artist as well. And it's
Absolutely.
so much fun to see.
It's
Yeah.
great stuff. It's great
Yeah.
stuff. And so, what do you got planned for the future here? Anything special coming up? Are there any big?
Yeah, well, this is the very big part. The 25th anniversary is on the way, and my friend Don Daneman. So if you know the song "Red Rubber Ball" and "Turn Down Day,"
The
which
Circle.
is very big, yeah. So Circle had done that song years before that, in 1964, before they were even called Circle. They did this theme song for a college radio station in Allentown, Pennsylvania. When they did it, so Don and I were doing an interview, and he brought me over to his house, and he said, "Hey, will you come on over?" I did, and he said, and he started playing me audio, and he played me this thing from 1964, and I heard the theme. I said, "Man, if I had one like that, I'd play it." And he didn't say anything, but I put that into. And next thing you know, about a couple of weeks later, I had a theme song that was done by Don, and he put it together because that's what he did. After he did the 60s, he went into producing jingles, and that's how we got to know who he was. And then he just is retired from it now, but he loves doing it. So he has now made me 5 new songs for 2 more weeks when I get the chance to celebrate the 25th anniversary. So he'll redo all these songs and he'll write different lyrics that'll go along. He wants to do one for the Flash Mobile. So that's part of the future. And I'll also have the 60th birthday on the way. And on my 60th, back on my 50th, I did a thing called All 50 at 50, is where I said, you know what? I'll bet, since I had already been to all 50 states, I said, I bet I can get to all 50 states in my 50th year. So as soon as I turned 50, and back at that time, I started traveling. And within 9 months, I had been in all 50 states. I saved Hawaii for January of that year. And then
Smart
now
man.
and it was the beginning of the year. So then after I did that, I said, you know what? I wonder if I could do all 50 again in a calendar year. Let's start here in Hawaii. So I started going. I went back to Alaska. I went back to every state. I did it in the entire year. I did it all 50 in the calendar year 2017. So then I was getting ready to go. I know what I'll do. I'll do all 50 plus the 6 territories, Washington, D.C., and our 5 territories, Guam, Northern Mariana Islands. I had already been to all of them as well. I worked in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. So I figured, okay, all I need to do is get to all of these. And then the pandemic hit. So that ruined the whole thing of trying to do it when I turned 56. So now that I'm coming up on 60, let's cross our fingers. I'm going to try to do all 60 at 60. Any idea what all 60 would be?
Wow. No, I don't have any idea.
Got to get to all 50 states and all 10 provinces of Canada. Can I pull off all 60 of all 50 states and all the 10 provinces of Canada, from Newfoundland all the way back to British Columbia? Can I do it in a full year?
If anybody can.
Okay, yeah. So that's the big thing I'm going to do next year, or in the year of 2026.
And so, do you have any of the Circle stuff queued up here that we can hear? Or
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Let me go over. I got to lean to the side.
all right, lean, man.
Okay.
I got all the time in the world for you. So let's.
Oh, okay.
Because
Let me see. Which one is this birthday one? This is the one where he did, this is where it's what we would call the birthday bed, so I could actually talk over it. And then I would grab all my birthdays, which is over here. I would be here and go, okay, who's having the birthdays today? And then I look through it and go, all right, today, and I went through this the other day. Lonnie Anderson, Rick Derringer would have had their birthday today. Marty McCormick, also Patrick Ewing, and Rick Huxley of DC5 at 60's Gold. And then he'd sing it here.
Happy birthday on the funny farm.
So that's an example of running it with that. So that's a birthday one. Hold on, I'll come over here. This is the City of the Day one here.
City of the day, where are you?
Now that came about, City of the Day, Where Are You? And then with this music as well. That's from Car 54, Where Are You? And the reason he came up with that, because I was turning 54, and I said, Don, said, can you do Car 54, Where Are You? It was Phlash 54, Where Are You? And he said, what? Hold on, I got to listen. And he listens to it, and he did Phlash 54, Where Are You? And I said, okay, next year, Phlash 55, Where Are You? Phlash 56, Where Are You? We got to the 57. He goes, that's harder to sing. I go, just switch it to City of the Day, Where Are You? And it became
City of the day,
that's how it changed.
are you?
Okay, there you go. So that's a little of that change. And so these jingles were so much fun to be able to get. Hold on, let me lean over again. This is when I say, okay, hey, let's see, Franklin. Let's put Franklin on the map in Michigan. That's me throwing the pin, so you can actually yeah, you can throw it and make it show up.
That's what I say about you, man. You're just nothing but entertainment. Live on the radio every day.
Yeah, let's see. Let me see what this one is. Here we go.
It's the Phlash Phelps 60's show.
That's what he originally did. He did the thing. It's called the Phlash Phelps 60's show. And I said, well, he goes, is there anything you would want changed? And I said, well, I call it the Phlash Phelps Funny Farm. He goes, okay, hold on. And he does it. He goes right back. And
It's the Phlash Phelps funny farm.
that's how quick. He just does these changes.
That's
And
awesome.
it's like, okay, what do you want changed? Can you sing this line? Hold on, I need a rhyme. And he'd go through and he'd go, okay, I got it. And then he would go do it.
Circle.
And there it is, the circle. I got the circle shout.
The Beatles.
The Beatles. Yeah, it's like all that. But especially when they sing and you
It's
get,
the Phlash Phelps funny farm.
that's one he did quick where he did Funny Farm, da-na-na, and the
And
other
he's
one he
probably
holds.
made a damn good living selling
Oh.
jingles, because I used to use jingles for some of my television
Yeah.
commercials and radio commercials. Used to go to a company called Tanner. I don't know if you remember
Tanner. Oh, okay.
And there was a guy here, Chuck Doherty, here in Detroit, famous guy, used to be on the radio, and he was selling Tanner jingles for years, and I used to buy them.
Wow.
So yeah,
See, it was the coolest thing. The first jingle I ever had done. Wait, I think we have the audio. it's
Wait,
on
can I
here
get-
somewhere.
I
Hold on.
got Joey Ryan. I got
There we go.
Joey
Yeah, there was. I know I have the flash shouts that originally my original ones. They are over here somewhere. Hold on, I'll get them for you. It's not that one. It's
This is the kind of madness that goes on every morning on 60's Gold. On
yeah.
Sirius.
This is it. Yeah, if I can only figure out where my shouts are. I very rarely use these when I'm on, but these are where. Oh, maybe they're. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got them. Here, this is where I keep them over here. So here's one.
Phlash Phelps.
That was the second one.
Phlash Phelps.
That was that the original? Yeah, this is the original. The first one I ever had that was done for me was this shout.
Phlash Phelps.
And that was done by TM Century down in Texas. So they did that, and it was Phlash Phelps having fun in the nighttime, 100 KHI. So that's just the acapella part of it. And then let me hear this one.
Phlash Phelps.
These two
Phlash Phelps.
were both done for XM and Sirius XM. They were different ones there. Let me see what else I have. Oh, this was done as the Sonovox. Listen to this one.
Phlash Phelps.
Do you remember when those were done? The
Oh,
Sonovox
I
sound.
love that. Wait,
Yeah.
I'm going to add Joey. Joey Reynolds is here.
Oh, good.
I'm going to add Joey to the stage.
All
He,
right.
let's see where he is. He's left his seat, but I
Joey has left the building, I guess.
Joey Reynolds from New York is somewhere there, and he give Joey to the world. Oh,
I
that's,
like that.
yeah.
That's
All
a
right,
good
well,
one.
Flash,
Yeah.
you're an amazing, amazing guy, and I know I'm going to be seeing you again real soon.
Yeah.
You will not be joining me in Belfast for Van Morrison's 80th birthday in a couple of
Wow.
weeks. No,
That's cool.
But
Yeah, Sir Van Morrison, I guess you call him now, right, sir?
yeah, Sir Van. Well, he
Yeah.
is Sir Van.
Yeah.
And I just did a great tribute show. I'll share it with you. It was a great show. But I expect I'll be seeing you in September at
Yes.
another person's 80th birthday right
Correct.
here in the Motor City. Am I right?
That is right. Yeah, I'll definitely be there for it. This should be a lot of fun because last time I was there was 2 years ago for the 78th birthday party.
Yes, that would be right. Every year, this individual has a big birthday party.
Mhm.
He's a dear friend of ours. He's been on the Franklin Show, and he likes to celebrate his birthday very quietly with about two or 300 of his closest friends.
And he forgets to invite some too, and they call and going, "Hey, how come I wasn't invited?" He goes,
I
"Oh,
don't
I didn't
even
think you
know.
would come."
I
It's
don't
like,
even know how that's possible because his guest list is yay
yeah.
by yay, and he starts promoting it. And here's Joey right there, and we
There
can
he is. Now, if it weren't for Joey Reynolds, I would never have come up with this act. When I was a kid, I used to hear Joey's show, and then I would imitate him. And some of what I do today even is in the show today. So Joey Reynolds is, you know how much I admire Joey Reynolds. Joey Reynolds, that right there.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, so Joey, I'm so grateful that you've joined us, and now you can hear Phlash and I for a few minutes, and then I'll focus on you.
I've been listening to you about the jingles. I used to
Oh.
do jingles. Remember?
Oh, okay. Okay. So you while you were making cheesecake, you were listening to.
No. Yeah, but you forgot that I was the guy who did those over the intro jingles. That sound like the record.
Oh, like this.
A circle.
They were called Mingles. Well,
Mingles. There you go.
The Beatles.
There it is.
All right.
They had me change the name of the company. The company was called Up Your Ratings.
That's great. All right. So let me give a proper introduction to this.
Why? No, don't be proper. Why? You look at where you live.
You're right. I mean, wait, poor Joey.
You're in a gated community.
Well, so Joey
Wowsy, woo.
is an icon.
So one of my jingles, speaking of cons,
Yeah.
was his Hanukkah collection.
Yeah.
And it was the Kvetching Schmendricks.
Oh,
And they
love
sang a great song called Jews Don't Camp.
well,
I got fired.
you got fired.
no.
We were just talking about Phlash, who was fired. What? How many times? 26.
No, it was 17.
Oh,
He
well, you know,
Joey,
was fired
you were
because-
mixing me up with Joey 26.
Yeah. Flash is the only entertainment left on the radio. Nobody entertaining anymore. Everybody else is so.
All right, but Joey,
also,
for the record,
he's gone from demographic to geographic.
Yeah, right,
Wow.
right. National
Yeah.
Geographic. Joey, for the
Thank
record,
you.
how many times have you been fired? I mean, this is important. I want it factual.
I don't know.
It's too many to count.
It's from my book, Who Counts?
Well, it's part of the legend of broadcasting. The longer your resume, the better you are, probably. Right?
I don't know. I think what's happened is I went through a lot of drug and alcohol periods in my life. I went through being too fat in my life. I went through being divorced in my life. I mean, I've had all of the things that America's famous for.
But it worked out.
And look at you today. Look at who you are, where you are. And by the way, who are you and where are you?
Oh, well, who I am is I'm just another guy who is fighting the industry right now because I like radio and I've been in it since I'm 13.
Wow.
So just before Phlash was born.
you were on a couple of years before that. It's just amazing the career that you've had.
Yeah, I know. Listen. There was a great interview with Johnny Carson and Jackie Gleason, and it was the only time that Gleason ever appeared with Johnny Carson. He's very charming, Both of them are wonderful, but Jackie Gleason said he made a little comment, and Carson was reviewing that he had albums and he had the Honeymooners and the TV show, and you know that David the theater that Letterman broadcasts out of, the Ed Sullivan
Ed Sullivan Theater.
It was the Jackie Gleason Theater before it was Ed Sullivan.
Wow.
So he was very famous at CBS. They even gave him a train.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, you know, because he
You
didn't want
invented
to
Miami Beach, Joey.
Yeah, that was a failure. But let's not talk about that. So Jackie said, Johnny Carson says, "You're so talented," and Jackie Gleason says, "I'm not responsible for my talent. That's God given."
You know, talent is a very annoying thing because you can't take any credit for it. It's a gift from God, you know, and you're stuck with that. Somebody says you're good, you say, well, God did it.
And you know, when someone says, "Gee, you're very talented," you say, "Yeah, well, I didn't come up with that." You know,
Right.
My philosophy, which is almost semi-funny, is that you come in, you don't pick your parents. You don't know your. I mean, you show up. You show up.
Right.
You do, and you leave. That's life. So.
Well, you've done more than show up in your career. You've been all over the radio.
No, I mean in life, everybody shows up. All of a sudden, you didn't pick your parents, you didn't pick your religion, you didn't pick your neighborhood, you didn't pick anything. You didn't pick your nose. You just showed up, and all of a sudden, you're there. And then you don't know why you're here. And when you get to be 7 or 8 years old, maybe around that, if you're precocious, maybe at 2, but you wonder, what the hell am I doing here? What am I supposed to be? How did I get here? That doesn't become a primary question until later when you're failing. But primarily I'm saying, how did I get here? You know, and then of course the religion comes in, whether you're Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, or whatever your sect in this country. We separate church from we separate church from money. That's what we do. So I come into the world not knowing how I got here, except 2 people had sex, I think.
Yeah.
And, unless I'm tubular. So all of a sudden I'm here. And what am I supposed to do? I don't know why I'm here. All of a sudden I get awareness. I'm with this group of people called my family. I got people around me that I didn't want to meet. I'm doing all the things I didn't want to do. I'm going to a school I never chose. I'm being taught things that I didn't want to learn. And so as I go on, I get a little bit more aware of the fact that nobody picks where they come from. And nobody knows why we're here. And we don't know when we're leaving. So,
well, we sure as hell don't want to be leaving. We want to be staying.
Well, you don't know when. And,
so
and
wait a
you
minute.
can't plan on it.
Let's talk about your radio career. Where did you start? What was the big break that got you your celebrity status? Because you are iconic.
In my mother's womb.
Oh, come on, Joey.
This is my
Start on the radio.
My grandson is here. He just walked in the room.
Hi, darling. So
wait a minute. Hold on. You want to go home? Okay. When I finish what I'm doing.
All right. Well, let's get back to this interview, and we'll then you can.
Oh no, there's no interview. We don't interview.
So, what was the first break? The first big break?
Boys Club. We were poor, and I lived in a neighborhood that had no way out. We were the last white family in a black neighborhood of former Italians.
Yeah.
Because even they left, you know. And we're standing here like this with a $6 a month house, and no. I mean, you know, it was poor. We were poor, and we thought we were okay, but we really, by the book, we were poor. So I joined the Buffalo Boys Club, and that was to get me out of the house, give me something to do. And they had a PA system on the 3rd floor for the Friday dances when the girls were allowed to come to the Boys Club. Yeah. And we played the music out of the 3rd floor on this little room that was, we even gave it a call ours. It was called WCBM. And we gave it turntables. Oh. They were little 45 things. Yeah. We played records. And so we started to do this every day rather than just the Friday dances. And everybody came from there. Danny Nevers came from there. Everybody who got into radio, we loved it. We don't know why. We had something to do.
Yeah.
We started to fight over who was going to get the microphone and who's going to go on first. And it was not organized. I mean, we didn't have formula radio yet. We just had radio that was mostly old shows. Mm-hmm. And then the music was kind of square, as we called it. And there was time for us to be creative. So what we did was we played the music that we liked. And we started to follow some of the local disc jockeys, like the Hound Dog, who was the first rock jock. He and Alan Freed were the beginners. Alan was in Akron, Ohio.
Yep.
George Lorenz was in Buffalo, New York.
Right.
And they call Buffalo the mistake on the lake.
Right.
And so we were broadcasting from our little place in the boys' club, hoping to get into the business. That's how it started. And I started to get interested in it, but I wasn't very good. And nobody starts out being very good, I don't think, unless you're a genius.
I beg to differ. I started out, I was even better than I am now. So there.
Well, that's okay. You have modesty. And that's,
I got no humility. That gene skipped me, okay?
Right under your humility. So I think sometimes I forget that I had no real interest in radio at that time. I was delivering papers. I was shining shoes.
Yeah.
I was at the bowling alley setting pins by hand in those days. I did a lot of things, but mostly the boys' club thing. I said, this is easy. Sit there and play music, And the music was cool back then because it was just rock and roll was just starting.
Well, it sounds like it was free form. You were like playing whatever you wanted to play, which is something unusual.
Well, I never knew it any other way.
Yeah.
I never stopped doing that.
Well, that's
why I got fired.
That's a different kind of radio.
I don't give a shit about what they want to hear. I care about the audience. I never cared about management. I still don't.
You lock yourself
I think 13 people. I was just on an industry Zoom with Lee Abrams, who's one of the guys that put XM and Sirius.
Plus Lee Abrams.
So I was just on the call with him, and I was just telling the guys. I says, nobody ever told me what to play because I didn't take payoff. I don't believe in payola. I saw too much of it around me when I got on commercial radio. Right. People were having sex and having drugs, and drugs came later.
This is a family show. This is a family show.
Sex was a drug. Oh, what's wrong with this family? What is it? It's not an ignorant family, is it?
No, but here's my question. Weren't you the guy that the Four Seasons talked about as being the DJ who locked himself in his studio and played a Four Seasons tune continuously until they forced their way into the studio to yank you out?
Yeah, but that's not why. I did it for Bob Crew. I didn't do it for Frankie and the boys. They were background singers.
A great story, Joey.
Well, it's a true story because Bob Crew gave me, at that time when you made a recording session, you would have a disc to take home as a producer so that you could evaluate how you were going to mix it. So I was at the session of the Rays, and the Four Seasons were the background. So Bob Gaudio and Bob Crew, Bob Gaudio was young. He was the youngest of all of them.
These are the original Four Seasons.
Yeah, everything. Sin is original. So we sat down and we had a disc.
Yeah.
That to take home after the session. Bob and I were good friends. I knew him from when he had a hit called the Whiff and Poof song. I knew him in Miami. So when I came to New York, I was at WPOP in Hartford, and I went to the session on a Sunday in the Taft Hotel in the basement, and the Four Seasons did this thing, Sherry, and I took it with me. And my other friend, who was DJ, he became LaRue, I think he called himself. David went to school in Connecticut, and he had another disc because he was friends with Bob and had a disc. So he came to visit me in Hartford, and I took 2 turntables, and I played the 2 discs until we wore them out, which was about 4 hours. And I went from 1 to 1 to 1 to 1, and I did nothing but play those. So the cops came, and they stopped me, and they wanted to
There were
arrest
no
me.
commercials. There were no
No,
station IDs at the top and the bottom of the
you're too conventional. You're thinking of formats and commercials and music. This is when we had fun.
You were a rap. That's what you were. You were.
No, because I was a pioneer in craziness.
Yes, you were.
I mean,
And you are. You still are.
We got crazy.
All
So
right.
anyway, I played that for 4 hours. But let me tell you the punchline. You don't know the punchline yet.
Go.
You're in too much of a hurry. You're trying to be an interviewer. We're gonna get you a job. What happened was the program director of the station determined what was going to be on the air. That was always the case.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that they could have turned the transmitter off. The cops came, and across the street from Asylum Street, can you imagine what a crazy name that is for where I was, is the state capitol. And the son of Governor Dempsey was a fan because he liked the craziness. And he used to come across the street after school, and he would hang around the station. And he was there when I played this thing. They're not going to take the governor's son and arrest me. So I kind of had that. I had that little insurance policy built in, but I didn't know it. And the program director of the station, who could have killed the whole thing, was Morton Downey Jr.
No way. Wow.
Crazier than me.
Wow. That's a great punchline.
He was my roommate in Syracuse at WNDR, which was the job I had before WPOP. Oh. And he was also, he was my friend. And so he thought he was crazy and I was crazy, and we just let the thing roll. And then we got in trouble. Unfortunately, in the movie of Jersey Boys, the play, they used a black guy in the show, which was at the in San Diego where they opened with it, because he had more than one role, and they wanted to have some participation of fairness. So the black guy was me, and so I walked around. I thought I was privileged for a long time.
Yes.
I loved it. All of a sudden I could dance.
Yeah, man. You got rhythm. I've seen you dance. You're
I had a lot of rhythm.
So I have the two craziest guys on radio right here together.
No. Flash is not
Come
crazy.
on. You know, Howard Stern is nothing compared to you.
Well, Flash is great on the air.
Yes.
And he's a person of this time because he's young, he's vibrant, and he's traveled. Most people, and when I began on radio, you were lucky you left the room to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, this guy is all over the map. He's all over the place.
And he hop in the car soon too. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how to get there.
Yeah. I don't even need no GPS. My GPS, by the way, isn't even working right. The touch screen's off, so it's like, forget it. I know how to get there anyway.
After 400,000 miles, I think your car thinks you know where you're going.
It does. It doesn't ask. It's like, go ahead. Where are we going? Yep.
Well, all right. So this is a great bookend for a show about the 60s, and I'm calling it 60s Gold, which
Why? What does it do with the 60s? This is right now.
I interviewed Jay.
Wait a minute. Wait. This is progressive. You're not talking to two guys who are going to play Chubby Checker records the rest of their lives. Come on.
I don't know. I got another Chubby Checker record on the way. Yeah. Here he comes.
I got one for you today. Who did I meet? I met Lady Gaza. She's a stripper.
Oh. Okay.
Now you're making me hungry because I see you went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's where I thought of the chick.
Yeah. All right, Joey Reynolds, Phlash Phelps. I love you guys sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I know I'm going to be seeing you both at a very special 80th birthday in just a few weeks, and I will look forward to giving you proper hugs.
Did you hear about Art Volo you're talking about?
Oh, God. Say his name. He's so full of himself, and when he hears this interview, he's going to say, Mike, why didn't you include me? I did a special interview just for art.
He won't show up. He's at the $5 movie.
Yeah.
He went to see Naked Gun for $5, includes popcorn.
He only goes on the cheap day. That's true.
Oh, of course. I mean,
I didn't even know there was a $5 movie for guys.
Yeah, well, he does. He knows where they are.
He knows when it is. Yeah.
So, Phlash, look, can I ask Phlash a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, when is today's town in real calendar time is Shotgun Tom's birthday?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you're so much younger than all of us. How did you get to be a senior so fast?
Oh, because of our friends you were just talking about, Lee Abrams and Dave Logan and our friend Art Volo. It was their thing. They were looking to fill this satellite radio thing, and Art said, "You interested in satellite radio?" He sent a video to Dave Logan and Lee Abrams, and they watched the video, and they said, "This is really crazy. This is like the 60s." So when they got a hold of me, they said, "This is like the 60s. What inspired you to sound like the 60s playing 80s and 90s music on the air?" And I said, "Oh, it was all listening to 60s radio people like Joey Reynolds, like all the people that I'd heard." And so I was doing an 80s and 90s show with the style that I loved the 60s guys like you doing. And then they said, "Well, we want you to do the 60s. I said, "I don't know the music." They said, "You can learn the music. We can't teach anybody to do that." So that's how it ended up starting 25 years ago. So I was about 15 years younger than the rest of everybody who was there in the 60s. Yep.
You don't belong on this channel. You got to get moved.
Is it too late? I asked the boss. The boss goes, "It's too late now."
Well, now that you've been Franklinized, you can have anything you want.
That's right.
As Michael Seltzer he's the best manager in the world.
There you go.
Yes, I could be very helpful, and I can also be a hindrance when I want to be.
Well, your duality is pleasing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, I got to wrap this up. We're at 41 minutes for this interview, and I can go as long as I want on my show, but I want to get Jay and the Americans in here, and that was a half an hour with Sandy and company. So God bless you both. I think the world of both of you. You're dear friends and iconic broadcasters, and I am sincerely and honestly so happy to have you on the Franklin Show.
I was the first guy to play "Carry Me in Mine."
Oh, I love that. There you go. And Sandy Deanne called me once.
Yeah. This is the old Jay.
You got the original,
He had a potty mouth. You want me to give you some of the lyrics? No, you don't.
All right, I'm going to say goodbye to both of you, and thank you so much, you guys. This was a great, great interview, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks at that big party that we're not supposed to talk about because the people that see this may not be invited.
Oh. All right, I'll be there.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye. All right, as Joey would say, bye-bye. Right, Joey?
Phlash, I'll see you in the morning. No, I'll hear you in the morning.
Morning. Okay.
All right, goodbye.
And ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more riveting entertainment right here on The Franklin Show. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I know. Wait, just
Look at that. It's so sad.
And I am so grateful to this wonderful studio audience, to my band, to my announcer, to the great cast of characters that work so hard behind the scenes making this show a reality every week. We look forward to seeing you again next week right here on The Franklin Show. Good night, everybody.